going to look at a Leetcode problem that is max consecutive ones. It's an easy problem, but when asked in an interview, it's not important how easily you get to the solution or how soon you write the code, but the interviewer will always be interested in knowing how do you approach a particular problem, and he would want to know what is exactly going on inside your head, and that is what I'm going to teach you today. So we will be picking up this problem. It's as I said, it's an easy problem. So here when you see the question is basically, we have been given an array. This is the array that they've given to us, and they want us to figure out what is the maximum number of ones that occur simultaneously. So what that means is that if, like, for example, if you see over here, this is consecutive ones, and this is again another set of consecutive ones. So we want to find out what is the maximum amount of consecutive ones, that is, occurrence of ones continuously. So of course this is 2 ones in a row, this is 3 ones in a row, and we want to return 3 because of course this is the maximum, and that is what we want to return. So here I have explained to you what we want to do. Now we can create an algorithm basically which will lead us to coding the actual solution. So as I said over here, this is the question given to us. The output should be 3 because as you can see over here, the maximum consecutive ones is 3. Okay, so they have given the explanation which I explained to you, and they want us to basically code. So I'm going to use Java for the code. So here what we can do is, first of all, when like an array like this, what we want to do is that here we are going to look at every single element of the array and see and check whether every element is 1 or not. So if it is 1, then we have to do something about it, because that is exactly what it's asking us to do. We want to see if it is 1 consecutively or not. So we can basically take a variable count, which is going to help us keep track of the number of ones that we encounter when we move through the array. So we are going to have to use a loop over here. Okay, so for example, if the algorithmic approach is going to be like, we have used a for loop, and then we have initialized a variable count, and we are basically keeping in store the number of ones that occur in while we traverse through the array. So like for example over here, this is the first element that we see, like this one. Yes, this is 1. So we are going to increase count by 1. Then we move on to the second element. So I can be, you can take any variable. I'm going to take I. So I can be a variable which you can keep track of the index of the array. So after that, like for example, we reached over here. So yes, this is again one we're going to compare whether or not the particular element is 1. This is true, so again we go on to increase the count variable. Now as soon as we reach 0, like this is not 1, we are going to break out of this loop and say that, you know what, I encountered a 0, there's not a 1, so I am going to calculate. Wait, let me just not do this. I am going to calculate a maximum array, So what am I going to do? I am going to see now, take an array called max count, and I'm going to check what is the maximum number of ones seen till now. So that is going to take out the maximum number of ones. So for now it's going to be 2 because we encountered 2 consecutive ones. Now again it'll reach over here. So before encountering another consecutive set of ones, what we want to do is that we need to initialize this variable, this right here, back to 0, so that we can again keep start counting this set of ones again. So it's going to start at 1, 2, 3, and then when we reach the end, which is going to be like, this is going to keep track of the end, like whenever we reach the end of the array, this is going to do that work. Whenever that happens, this again will count the maximum consecutive ones, and that is what we're going to do. Now, I hope you understood the algorithm. Now, for an interview, an interviewer will be expecting you to, yes, of course, he'd be expecting you to reach the solution, but you can't just sit there and think the solution in your head and just code it out. The interviewer will want you to talk out loud, just like I am doing to you. He would want you to explain every single thing that is going around in your head. So I want you to be loud in your thoughts. Whenever you're coding, it's very important that you are able to explain your approach and your algorithm to anyone. So it also happens sometimes that it's okay if you're not able to reach a particular solution. So the interviewer might actually end up helping you. So just imagine you might end up feeling stuck in a question, in a problem. So if you are loud with your thoughts, your interviewer will surely jump in to help you. And it's nothing bad, actually. He'll be very happy to help you because he's able to see that your thoughts are quite loud, and he'd be able to see the approach you've taken to solve a particular problem. So yeah, okay, so let me get back to the code now. Okay, so over here I'm going to initialize two variables, declare two variables, and then initialize them to 0. So I am doing count and max count over here. Again, this is going to set to be 0, and then I'm going to use a for loop, and then I'm going to take a variable called I, which is going to be set to 0, beginning at the beginning of the array. It's going to go up till nums dot length, that is the length of the variable that's given to us right here, and then I will increase it at every step. So like in the loop, if we encounter any element that is ith element, if it is equal to 1, then what are we supposed to do? What were we supposed to do? We were going to increase the variable count, okay? And if this is the case, we every time this happens, we get out of the loop. And if this does not happen, what we want to do is that we want to basically keep track of this max count variable, which is this exactly, is going to be equal to math dot max count comma max count, which is this. Okay, this is how I'm going to keep track of the maximum variable, and every time after that I'm going to set the count variable to 0. Okay, okay, and then after this happens, I'm going to return math dot max count comma max count. Okay, so I am thinking that this might run, this might not run, but this is the thing, like if you are able to code a solution, then if it runs, it's fine. If it doesn't, you should be able to figure out what's wrong. So let's see if this runs or not. Okay, so we have a problem over here. Expected is 2, and okay, so what do we do? What do we do over here? What if we use an else over here? What did I do? Okay, wait a second. Else, and else over here. Let's see. Let's run this. Yeah, there we go. Let's submit this now. Wow, Okay, so we did submit the solution. So the problem was that I did not use an if else. Instead, I was just going out of this loop to just use an if and not an else. So you see, whenever you encounter a problem, you should be able to figure out what exactly is going wrong with your solution. So it's always better to code it out. You can even use you can use, it's not necessary that you code on Leetcode. You can go somewhere else and just print out the exact things that are happening, or you can use a debugger over here, because I think the debugger is also a very good way to see what is exactly happening at every single step. So when I run this, I am able to see the steps that my code is following after each step, after each loop. So you see, like over here, the count and max count. Okay, I is 1, count is 1. Okay, it gets out of the loop. Now I will be 2, max count is still 1 in this case. Yeah, okay, so it's going well. 3, okay, count is 2 now, max count is still 1, because over here we encountered 1, and then I becomes 5. Yeah, and that is the length. Okay, so max count becomes 2. This is max count. That's our answer. Okay, so I hope you understood this problem. Remember, the takeaway is that you keep your thoughts loud and tell the interviewer what exactly you are thinking and what is going inside your head, because sometimes it ends up really good and the interviewer might end up helping you along the way. Okay, goodbye. See you at the next solution.